Adonis Stevenson versus Tony Bellew. Now, I did my prediction for this fight. I believe it was a prediction video I did for this fight quite a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. So go watch that video if you ain't seen it already. But I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that I predicted Adonis Stevenson to win this fight either by a late stoppage or on points. I can't even remember myself now, but that's what I'm going for anyway, late stoppage or points. And I don't see Bellew winning this fight because I don't think he's sharp enough on the outside. Yeah, he's going to fight. He has to fight a fairly cautious fight because Stevenson is a massive puncher. So he's going to have to be careful, even if he's going to try and apply pressure to Stevenson, which I believe he has to. I think that's the only way he even gives himself a chance of winning the fight. If he stands off and tries to box, I don't see him beating Stevenson. I think Stevenson is way too sharp on the outside. I think his left hand is way quicker than Bellew's right hand, which is the punch you need most against southpaws if you're going to fight them at long range. You need that, you know, that straight right hand. I don't think Bellew's right hand is straight enough. I don't think it's quick enough. And you better have a quick right hander. It better be straight when you're fighting Adonis Stevenson, because if you miss, Lord knows you don't want to get hit with a left hand counter. You don't want to leave your right hand down when you're getting ready to throw it and let him beat you to the punch with his left hand. You don't want to do that because this guy has got ridiculous punching power. Ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't see him beating Stevenson. I think if he tries to box with Stevenson on the outside, he's either going to have to go into his shell once he tastes Stevenson's power, or he's going to get himself knocked out. He's going to give Stevenson the time and the space he needs to land the perfect shot, the way Chad Dawson did, and he's going to get himself knocked out. So I don't see him dealing with Stevenson on the outside. I think Stevenson's too sharp. I also suspect that Stevenson's got longer arms. I'm not talking about the reach. Again, I always go through this with people. Reach and arm length are two different measurements. I suspect Stevenson has got a slightly longer arms than Bellew, even though Bellew's 6'2". If you look at these guys side by side, especially when you'll see them in the ring, you'll see what I'm talking about. Stevenson appears to have much longer arms. And those long arms combined with his superior hand speed at long range, I think are going to make it almost impossible for Bellew to win, to dominate the fight from the outside. I think Bellew's best chance is to get in close and rough Stevenson up. Now, you can do that. You have to get past the left hand first, so you're going to need a jab to get in. You're going to need to come in behind the jab. You're going to take some left hands. Keep tucked up tight. You're going to take some left hands on your arms, on your shoulders, and it can be quite intimidating when you're in with a guy who hits as hard as Stevenson, because even when he hits you on the arm, it's like, wow, I'm so glad that didn't hit me in the face. You know, it can be quite intimidating when you're fighting that kind of puncher. But as far as I can see, he has to get in close. Stevenson does have, as far as I'm concerned, two weaknesses. He is quite vulnerable on the inside. Stevenson can fight up close. Yeah, in his earlier days, he used to fight on the inside quite a lot. But ever since he got stopped by Darnell Boone in his only loss, he tends to shy away now from exchanging punches on the inside. Because even though he is quite effective throwing them short shots up close, that's where he's vulnerable to getting hit himself. Right? So he likes to keep on the outside and use those long arms and that fast, powerful left hand of his. Stevenson himself don't have much of a jab. Tends to just pull with the right jab and throw the left hand behind it. Use his right jab to measure distance and blind his opponent and then hit him with a left. So Stevenson on the inside, I think, even against Tavoris Cloud, when Cloud did get close, Stevenson looked a bit uncomfortable. He didn't want to engage. And that could play into Tony Bellew's hands. If he can get in close behind the jab, keep that right hand up. Keep that right hand tucked, glued to the side of his head. And only throw the right hand when he's so close that Stevenson can't get a left hand off. All right, what Bellew needs to do is get close with a jab. All right, keep tucked up, get close. And when he gets close, try and trap Stevenson, hit him with left hooks, try and make Stevenson spin off the ropes, yeah, to Stevenson's own right-hand side, yeah, because that way he'll be able to walk Stevenson into left hooks rather than right, because you really don't want to throw a right hand unless you're in an absolute perfect position and a perfect situation against Stevenson, because that left hand is so dangerous. You don't want to take no chances. So he needs to try and get left hooks on against Stevenson up close, little left hooks or little uppercuts. All right, and when he's pushing himself up against Stevenson, He can push him off balance, maybe use a little shoulder, a little nudge, make Stevenson square up a little bit, and then hit him with an uppercut or a left hook. Yeah, left uppercut or left hook. That's the best way I see for Tony Bellew in terms of tactics and what he has to do in the fight. Do everything to avoid the left hand, do everything to take away the left hand, and do everything to take away Stevenson's speed and reach advantage. So smother Stevenson, push him off balance when he's up against the ropes. Tony Bellew is the bigger man. He should be the physically stronger man. Right? He's 6'2", he's coming all the way down pretty much from cruiserweight. All right, because as an amateur, he fought most of it in the heavyweight division in the amateurs, which is 200 pounds, which is cruiserweight as a professional. So Tony Bellew is a big man. So he needs to use that physical size and impose himself physically on Stevenson, get rough in the clinches. Don't worry about having points deducted because you ain't going to win this fight on points anyway. This fight is in Stevenson's backyard. Right? One way or another, he is going to get the benefit of the doubt from the referee and the judges and all that anyway. So I would say just forget about all that. Go for the KO. Try and wear Stevenson down. Make it a rough physical fight. Try and take his legs away. Banging little left hands to the body if he can. Put a lot of pressure on Stevenson. Use the jab when he's coming in. You know? And I think Bellew can have more success than Tavoris Cloud because of the fact that he's bigger and he's more versatile than Cloud. But ultimately, I still see Stevenson winning the fight. All right? But if Bellew uses his physical size, imposes his physical strength, minimizes the amount of right hands he throws, keeps that right hand up, gets in close, because Stevenson, with those long arms, is definitely at a disadvantage on the inside. You know, similar to, and Bellew could be similar to maybe an Antonio Margarito against Miguel Cotto. You know, when they were on the inside, because Margarito's head is so high, and his hands, his fists were basically at the same level as Miguel Cotto's head. It could be a similar situation here with Tony Bellew against Stevenson. When Bellew gets right on top of Stevenson, when he's smothering him, Bellew's hands are going to be right where Stevenson's head is. And Stevenson may struggle to get his long arms free and get short punches off the way that Bellew does. So he has to do a very good job at smothering him, getting in the right position, you know, moving towards his left rather than moving towards his right into Stevenson's left hand. He's going to have to fight an incredible fight, an incredible tactical masterpiece in order to beat Adonis Stevenson. It's possible, but I wouldn't bet on it. I think that Stevenson's going to take the fight. And like I say, I did a prediction video, and I think I predicted a late stoppage for Stevenson. It was either points or late stoppage. I think it was late stoppage. Was it 9 rounds or something like that for Stevenson? Something like that. Anyway, so yeah, you get the drift. I think Stevenson's going to win. Drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel about this fight, how you think it's going to go, what tactics you think Bellew can use that will give him the best chance to win the fight, and what tactics you think Stevenson's going to use. I mean, I think Stevenson's going to fight the way he's been fighting his last few fights. Keep things on the outside like he did against Don George, like he did against Tavoris Cloud. Keep things on the outside and just look to land the left hand. Stevenson is quite one-dimensional. He is a bit of a one-trick pony these days. But that left hand is so powerful, most of the time that's all he needs. Now, just before I go, just want to say a quick word on the whole Sergey Kovalev situation, because Kovalev and HBO are very interested in setting up a fight between Kovalev and Adonis Stevenson. And right now, Adonis Stevenson don't seem interested in that fight. He's been talking about, oh, Kovalev needs to fight better. He's been giving it to Floyd Mayweather lately. He's been saying, oh, no, Kovalev needs to fight this, that, and the other guy. As far as I'm concerned, Adonis Stevenson is ducking Sergey Kovalev. I'm not saying he's scared of Kovalev, but he is ducking him right now. He's not interested in that fight because he knows there are easier, bigger paydays out there than Kovalev. He wants to leave Kovalev till last. It's similar to the situation when David Haye first moved up to heavyweight and he fought Nikolai Bellew. He wanted to milk his WBA title before he stepped in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko. But eventually, he did step in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko. And I expect that as long as Adonis Stevenson don't lose to any of these, you know, opponents who he wants to face in big money fights, as long as he don't lose to any of them, he will fight Sergey Kovalev eventually. He will. But right now, he wants to maximize his income by taking on people like the winner of Butte Pascal, by fighting Bernard Hopkins, these kind of people. You know, that's what he wants to do. Those are big money fights, big marquee names, especially Butte and Pascal in Canada are huge. So that would be a huge fight for Adonis Stevenson in Canada. And obviously Bernard Hopkins is huge in the world of boxing anyway because he's a living legend. So, yeah, it'll be, I think, quite a long time before we see Stevenson get in the ring with Kovalev, if that fight ever happens. Because, obviously, the only way it's going to happen while they're both world champions is if they keep winning. So, yeah, I think Stevenson is ducking him for now. I don't think he's necessarily scared, but he is ducking him because he sees some easier fights out there which are going to be for a lot more, potentially a lot more money, or a bit more easier money as he sees it. A lot of people may disagree with Hopkins being easy money, a hell of a lot of people, but I think in Stevenson's head, that's how he sees it, and that's why he's making these decisions. I think he believes the Hopkins is an easier fight than Kovalev. I think he believes that the Butte Pascal winner is an easier fight than Kovalev, and that both of those fights are big money fights. You understand? So I think that's what is going on really with that situation. So anyway, drop your comments below. This is Hatman. I'm out.